All right, welcome back. I hope you got some notes. How many people have at least 2 pages of notes so far? You know, say me. Put me into the comments if you have at least 2 pages of notes from what we've talked about so far, because this is a centerpiece to what it is that we do inside of our business. This idea of 90 more days, this idea of over the line, this idea of building product belief and product knowledge and product stories in order to be able to do that. Belief in products here, belief in your company, belief in network marketing, belief in your team, belief in you. You want to create more retention? Build more belief in these things. That is what will create the culture that's going to keep people moving, right? Tammy says, since I joined the academy and started doing monthly coaching and lessons, I've seen a shift in my thinking and implemented systems that have taken the pressure off duplication for myself and my team. Enrollments are steadily increasing and our auto ship percentage remains 10% above the standard for my company. Thanks. You're welcome, Tammy. That's exciting. That's why we do this. This is the same coaching that I provide, the same mentoring that I provide for 6- and 7-figure earners around the world who pay big bucks for this. Also, if you are part of GoPro Academy, or you've upgraded today to be part of it for the next 30 days to give it a shot, type in "I'm in" into the comments so I can see that you're connected and you're ready to kind of make an investment with yourself as we move forward. So let's recap this, and then let's get into duplication, okay? So retention is about 90 more days. I saw a lot of people asking about, well, what about the next 90 days? And what do I do with people who've come back to the easier to quit? Just relax into this concept. 90 more days is always another 90. It's always another 90. It's always another 90. It's always another 90. Every day there's a new 90. That's our goal, is to just keep them moving. Now, are some people, if they've fallen back over here, can you re-engage them? How would you re-engage them? You try to see if they're willing to do something down this road, but don't spend all of your time over there. If you spend too much time working with people who are not willing to engage in something, they're not willing to go to an event, they're not willing to hang out and make friends inside of the business, they're not willing to use the products, they're not willing to let you help them get a customer or a distributor, they're not willing to let you help them earn a check, they're not willing to spend any time with you, they're not willing to take any challenge or assignment, love them and wait for them. But don't sit over here trying to convince people to do things they're not willing to do. Okay? Does that help? I hope it does. All right. So 90 more days, belief and culture. Part of what we do in building product belief is through these different things. Belief in company. Is that important? You need to tell stories again about your company, about your founders, about the history, about you need to brag about their accomplishments, their awards, everything that they've done, anything positive. When I first got involved in the profession, I got involved in 1988, okay? And guess what one of the things that company bragged about? That they had a AAA rating with Dun & Bradstreet. Dun & Bradstreet is a credit rating service, okay? And in every presentation, this company's so credible, they have a AAA rating with Dun & Bradstreet, which basically meant they paid their bills. But we bragged about it like crazy. Everybody knew that part of the story. What can you brag about your company? What can you brag about? And you need to brag. Have there been articles? Is there any positive press? Is the company given back to charity? Are they a company with a heart? All the brag points about the company, you need to bake into your culture. Product belief is one thing, company belief is another. Now you don't need to, in building this, you don't need to tell everybody else how terrible all the other companies are. Just brag about yours. You know, the owners are solid, they've been around, and you know, the history, the credibility, the experience, the passion, the heart, the results, the awards, the support that they provide, how much they invest in you. All of these things help you build belief in the company through your organization. It's through those stories. It's through you constantly bragging. You're bragging about your product. You're bragging about your company. And bragging might sound like, well, that sounds like I shouldn't be bragging. Brag. Promote. Go crazy. Tell everybody your company's awesome. Your company's amazing. Your company's spectacular. You're so proud of being connected with them. And to the point where people in your organization start to do the same thing. Okay? So, product belief, company belief. Network marketing belief. It's a stone cold fact, we have a better way. Why do we have a better way? Why has GoPro sold 2 million copies around the world and growing? Why? You know why? It helped people understand what it is that we do inside of this business. It gave them a framework to go, oh, I get it. So what we do here inside of Network Marketing Pro builds belief. What if every single person on your team was part of GoPro Academy, getting this coaching every month? Would that help them build belief in network marketing? Yeah, really would. It helped build you. So brag about network marketing. That it's a better way. It's not perfect, but it's better. You can win the Pepsi Challenge with any other entrepreneurial venture in the world for the average person. Every single other one. There is nothing that beats network marketing, period, end of story. I have that conviction, but that conviction was earned over time. I built the belief where I became unshakable. When my team became unshakable, oh my gosh, retention went through the roof, duplication went through the roof. So building belief in network marketing. What else did I talk about? Product, company, network marketing. Building belief in the team. Brag about the team. Hey, this group of people, we're coming together. Here's what we're doing. Here's our mission. We're fun. We're fresh. We're the best trained group in the company. We're the fastest growing. We're this, we're that. Building belief in the team. Because what does that do to move people over the line? I'm with the right team. I'm in the right profession. I'm with the right company. I have the right products. And their posture starts to change. Okay? And then you. Building belief in you. Part of this is mindset. You learning to think like an entrepreneur. Part of this is skills. Think about what causes you to be confident and believe in yourself. Skills. And part of this is strategy. Today we're talking about a lot of strategy in order for you to be able to maximize this. But understanding that when you build belief in yourself, that you can manage this, that you're involved with the great products, you're involved with a great company, you're involved in a great profession, you're involved with a great team, and you're great. That by itself moves people over the line. You want people to think, when they look at you, I'm going to make more money than I would have made without being connected with this person because of this person. I'm going to have more success because they're solid. They got this. Now, I had belief when I didn't necessarily have all the confidence in the world. I had belief that I could figure it out. I didn't have belief that I had every answer, but I had belief that ultimately I would figure it out. And eventually my belief was if a person was smart enough to get around me, they're going to make more money in their life. They're going to have more fun in their life. They're going to fulfill more of their dreams. They're going to live their passion on a higher level by being connected with me. It's the smartest move that they could make. Okay? So with all of this, as you start doing all this stuff, you build your product belief, you build your company belief, network marketing belief. Ultimately, you increase your retention. Okay? Got it. All right, let's a couple questions before I start bomb into duplication. Katie asks, will you be covering how to set up duplication systems for business builders we recruit online and don't have physical access to for all the personal interaction we have with builders who live near us? Sure, I'll cover that. It's the same concept, but you just have, it's same thing as building a long distance organization. I built in 60 countries around the world. So same concept if I was building in Russia as if I'm building something online. You're going to engage in a slightly different strategy, but it's the same exact concept. Lauren says, Eric turned my fear around with network marketing belief. I was in serious cult for 4 years, had massive suspicion. I heard this 10-minute podcast and my world opened up. Great. Congratulations. When the prospect, by Dune, asked, when the prospects register in our team, they should watch 15 videos training, 3 hours total in our YouTube channel, plus prepare 150 names before a meeting with an expert so they could start after a planning meeting. Is it a bad strategy for retention? It sounds like a lot. It sounds a little scary. You might want to take a little baby step to get them started, and then another step, and then another step. Like, there's an old story that people won't start a race they don't think that they can finish. And because the price of entry is so low, if somebody had invested $100,000 into growing their, to starting their network marketing business, having them go through 3 hours of training and creating a list of 150 names, no problem. But when they invest $300, $500, $200, $100, that's a big hurdle now. So think about the best way to study if a system is working when it comes to duplication is it duplicating? Is it working? If it's not working, then maybe you push too far. Maybe it's too much. Maybe it's too big a stretch. Maybe you're scaring people. So you got to find that place where you can move them over the line, because if you're pushing and nobody's going over the line, you got to be a student of results more than anything else. Where do you want me to go? All right. North Carolina, I have some of my team that plugs into everything, watches every video, reads all the books, but struggle to take action. Then you need to provide those people with an assignment. Say, congratulations on this. Now I want you to take this one little step. And you might need to do it with them in order to get them from learning into action. Most of the learning is in the doing, but we can start our duplication conversation with the process. Tell, show, try, do. Now, what most people try and do is they try to tell people what they need to do in order to duplicate and then go do it. And they forget to show and try. This is the job part. We're going to tell people to do, that's the leadership part. We're going to show them step 2. Step 1 is to tell them. Here's what we do inside of our business. Step 2 is to show them. I'll do it, you watch. Step 3 is for them to try. You do it, I'll watch. I'll be there to support. And step 4 is to do it. The ultimate goal here is independence. That's the ultimate goal, is that a person is independent from you and is acting with or without your help, support, guidance. If you were hit by a train, they've got it. They've got it covered. So tell, show, try, do, and independence. Now, think about where I want to take this. Let's do this. This is one of the most misunderstood concepts in network marketing, is there are levels of duplication. And I fell into this too, because it sounds sexy to say that if everyone on your team can't do whatever it is that you're suggesting they do, then you shouldn't do it. So in other words, everything has to be able to duplicate. And what I learned over time is there's different layers of duplication. There's what I would call base level duplication. And then after the base level, then there starts to be kind of like a supervisory level of duplication. Then maybe there's kind of a manager level of duplication. Maybe there's a leader level of duplication. And then it just keeps going. Higher leader levels. So, because I'll give you some examples. And you need to understand this if you want to try and create duplication within your organization. Base level is what we're going to focus on because that's where most of your duplication lives. But some people say, well, if it can't be done by everybody on the team, then you shouldn't do it. It's on base level and that's it. Okay. Well, let me ask you a question. I'll ask all of you. Is a home meeting, hosting and performing a home meeting presentation part of your company culture? Is it something that your company recommends that you do? Is to hold a home meeting? Many companies will say, yes, that's part of it. That's part of what we do, is to hold a home meeting. Okay. What percentage of the distributors that are part of your team have ever held a home meeting? What percentage? And if you're honest, once your group, let's say gets to 100 people, maybe 10%? Maybe 10%? 90 out of 100 will not do one. They just won't do it. They're like, nope, not going to do it. Too scared. I'm embarrassed about my house. I don't want strangers coming over. My spouse has a problem with it. I don't like it. I want my evenings for myself. Okay? So, hello from South Africa says, 50%? Really? South Africa? How many people you have on your team? I want to know. How many people you have on your team? If you had 6 people on your team, then I'll buy your 50% story. But South Africa, in 30 seconds, I want to see your name come up here again, and you tell me how many you have on your team. 50%. Kevin says 10 to 20%. North Carolina says maybe 10%. Chuck from North Carolina says 10%. Okay? You can't do it because you don't have furniture, Jenko says. Sarah says, mostly that's mainly what we do. How many on your team said hello from South Africa? I want to know. 20 people? All right, well, 10 out of 20 is one thing because you're pushing this hard, South Africa. But when you have 500 people, guess what? When it gets out of your reach, guess what? It's going down. It's going down. So, based upon if everybody can't do it, should you promote it? Of course you should promote it. It's just not going to be a core-based thing. And here's a real challenge to duplication. We want everybody to do it. So we push it really, really hard. And when somebody doesn't do it because they don't want to for whatever reason, they feel like a loser. So if you have 10% of your people doing it, 90% feel like a loser, that might not be the best feeling in the world to move somebody over the line. So it might be something that a little higher level people are going to do. Maybe 10% of your team is going to do this. Maybe you've got somebody on a manager level who's doing some local trainings, hosting some local trainings or something, and helping to build a local team. Now, is everybody on the team going to host local trainings? Nope. They're not all going to host local trainings. Does that mean you shouldn't have any trainings? Well, of course not. You should have trainings, but that's a higher level of duplication. Some people are leaders, and maybe you're going to be hosting your own Zoom calls, or you're going to be hosting your own webinars, or you're going to be traveling into a city to help a team. Is everybody going to travel into a city to help a team? Nope. As you're expanding your leadership, is this going to continue to move as you're building a business around the world? Of course it's going to continue to move. So you got to create a baseline and then understand that different things fall into different layers and not put so much pressure that everybody has got to go through 3 hours of training and everybody's got to build a list of 150 names and everybody's, maybe we just need to get a movement in order to be able to get it started. All right. CYB says, my team is just one person who's not taking any products yet, though trying to get customers and distributors. Don't know how to help her decide to buy and use products. I think she's waiting to have some kind of success first before spending her money on products. The thing is that this is what she is duplicating, no taking products. It's been hard to build a team. Doing 20 and 30 should have finished these days, but no one signing yet. Here's the thing. You got to sit down and have a real conversation that if you're not going to be a product of the product, you're not going to build belief. If you're not going to build belief, you're not going to get customers. You're not going to get customers, you're not going to be able to build a team. It starts with either you believe this or you don't. This is not just a game. This is something that you got to engage in. Okay, let's keep moving. Base level, supervisor, and I just can give you just some general names. These aren't like official, but base level, I'm going to give you what I would put into a base level system to duplicate within your organization. Understanding the retention, keeping people around 90 days, building belief, moving them over the line. That's the key to building a foundation for this. But base level, five elements, and we're going to talk about each five, okay? Element number one, and this, let me give you the criteria of why this is base level. This is something that every single person on your team should be able to do every single day, if you give them structure in order to be able to do it. This is not difficult. It's not hard. You don't even necessarily have to have a high level of skill. But it's something that you can start to build a habit around. And that's what you want base level to be. What I used to call in previous organizations, core commitments. These are things that everyone in the organization is committing to engaging in on a daily basis. This is the standard that you're going to hold people to. This is the way that you're going to expect that people operate. This is what you're going to build your culture around, okay? So these five things have to be in place with structures in order to be able to support them. One, use the product daily if possible. That's something that everybody should do. That should be an assignment for you and your organization. That should be a requirement. You want to work with me? You got to use the product all the time. Now, you might have 100 products. Does somebody have to use all 100? No. It might not even be appropriate. But what's the core? Think about your product line, and maybe you have a core that is really where your company's focused, okay? And say 60, 70, 80% of your product sales are coming around that core. And then you have your ancillary stuff. Maybe it's other products that you could take that might not be daily. They might be weekly or monthly or quarterly. Maybe they're situational products or services, okay? So eventually you should be a product of all those products at least once. But when it comes to core, here's the one product you got to take every day. Here's the two that you got to take every day. Here's the three that you got to take or use or experience every single day. if possible. Now, not every product, some are services, so you're not going to use them every day, that's fine. But whatever's appropriate, you got to build a foundation around that appropriate thing. This is sacred. This is non-negotiable. This is, you want to be part of the team, part of the culture, you got to step into this. Okay? It's your job as a leader to cut through the clutter of all of your product offerings and give people a daily that they're going to engage in, that's going to create common language around your organization. And then people who have specific needs, they might spin off to this product or spin off to this service or spin off to this other thing that they're going to use in addition. But those should be thought about in addition to the core. Okay? Now, I'm going to talk about all 5. Well, I'll go one at a time. So one is sacred and core. Okay? Let's do it this way. Too big. That didn't work. I'm going to start over. I'm trying to make 5. All right, so this is going to be about like there, 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 and there. Got it. All right. So use products. Daily, if possible. Core. The core product offering, the product offering that's going to give people the best chance for success. The one that is most logical to be able to build belief around, to build your foundation around. And understand this core sometimes shifts. Your products shift over time. And company, what was core 5 years ago might not be core today. What's core 5 years from today might not be core today. Whatever is core at the moment, you're going to have to shift that from time to time. Company enhances different things. This needs to be sacred. This needs to be non-negotiable. You need to do everything in your power to build this into your culture if you want to expect duplication. This daily core, sacred, non-negotiable assignment. Now, I was kind of hardcore when it came to core, the 5 core things that we're going to talk about. But I was hardcore with a heart. And here's what I mean by that. I was still a leader, and I would say, listen, want me to work with you? You need to do this. And let me tell you why, not just because I said so. I'm not like the parent that says, just do it because I said so. Because this is the foundation that's going to give you the best chance for success. I'm going to take 5 minutes and I'm going to let them know that it's not even about what you do. It's about the culture that we're building within the organization. Do you want everybody on your team engaged in this? Is that going to build you a stronger business? The answer is of course. But you need to engage in this in order to be able to do it. So it starts with you. Okay? So I love you. And I believe in you, and I want you to experience the best that network marketing has to offer. And if you don't do this, I don't have time for you. And my time is worth something. You'll make more money if you hang around with me, I promise. So I was hardcore, but I let them know why. Because if I let you not use these products, you have no future. Your organization has no chance for retention and duplication. None. If I hated your guts, I would let you not use the products on a daily basis. If I love you, I would push until you realize that that's a big deal. See what I'm saying? So I was pretty hardcore. You want to work with me? You want to Want me to take your calls? You want me to help you? You got to start here. This is non-negotiable. And I'm going to know. I'm going to know based upon the stories you're telling me. I'm going to know based upon your orders. I'm going to know all different kinds of ways. You can lie if you want to, and you'll probably get away with it for 30 or 60 days, but eventually I'm going to know. Because whatever you're doing is going to be duplicating in your team. And if people aren't using the products in your team, that means you're not using them. So, hardcore, using the products, okay? So that was the first daily core thing for base level duplication. Second was, I'll use different color just because I can. Share the products. Supposed to be an asterisk. Daily. A process to share the products every day with at least one person. Now, in order for this to duplicate, you have to have a process to make it happen. Now, some people have a product that can be sampled. Okay, and that's how you promote it. So every day, you're going to sample this product to somebody else. That might be your system. So you need to have a process and a system for this. So people will engage with this on a daily basis. You have to share the product every day. You want to create duplication? One is using the products. Two is sharing the products with other people. Some people promote, you should do this 3 times a day. You should do this 5 times a day. You should do this twice a day. You got to come up with your own number. Just be a student of results of find out what's really working, but at least once a day. At least once a day. Maybe it's have somebody look at the video about your product once a day. Maybe it's sample your product with somebody else once a day. Maybe it's ask a person to be a customer of yours and to give you a testimonial on the product once a day. Maybe it's to show a brochure once a day. Maybe it's to share a website once a day. Whatever yours is. Now we've got people connected from all over the world with lots of different product offerings, and you have your system. I want you to be thinking about inside of your company, what is your system to share a product with a prospect? What is the system? Do that system at least once a day, every day. Okay, you want to take one day off a week, fine. But mentally, it's part of your breathing. You don't let the day go by unless you share the product with at least one person. You find somebody online, share it with them. Okay. Build a relationship, build a connection with them, share it with them. In person, at the office, at lunch, share it with them. You meet somebody is the server at your restaurant, share it with them. Okay, wherever it happens to be. Once a day, this is sacred. And you have a system to do it. And again, this is non-negotiable. This is an assignment. This is sacred. This is a foundation to be able to build a core of action that people can do and start to enjoy some results. Now, for me to be able to do this was hard for me. The sharing the product with the customer thing. And MB says, my company doesn't have a system. It's many different things you can do. Your job as a leader is to come up with your system. Take all the options, test what works the best, and promote that action until you find something that works better. Here's what we're going to do. It might be a product sample thing. It might be a makeover thing. It might be try this and see if you lose a few pounds, or try this if your skin feels better, or try this and it'll do something better for your house, or try this and you'll enjoy this experience or this service. Test it out, try it out, test it out, try it out. Most of marketing when it comes to customers is just getting somebody to try something. That's almost all of marketing, is getting somebody to try something. If they like it, they'll continue. If they don't, then they won't. Okay? Our job in sharing the process is to get them to try it. And if they like it, show them how they can become a customer. Now, let me tell you why this was hard for me. It was hard for me because I didn't want to be bothered with a customer. Like, I'm going to sell this water for $5 and I make $1 in commission. Why? Why would I walk across the street to make $1? I could care less about this. And this is when I was thinking about the job part of it, okay? And I had a mentor tell me, Eric, it's not about you. So what do you mean? Of course it's about me. It's my business. Yes, that's true. But here's when you truly figure out duplication, you realize that the things that you're willing to do will change. He said, Eric, if you once a day go sell this for $5 and you make your $1, that's fine. But what if you created an organization of 1,000 people who each sold one of these every day, and the volume created from that made you $200 a day? Now will you go across the street to make that $1? Because you're creating a foundation of a lot of people doing a little bit, and you're leading by example? I went, oh, of course I'll do it. Why not? If I can make a couple $100 a day by building a team that are doing this, I'm in. But I couldn't be bothered on the general. I had the same problem with home meetings. I don't want to do a home meeting. I don't want to have people in my house. I don't want to drive across town to some stranger, stand in their living room and have their pretzels and their bottled water and talk about my opportunity with a bunch of people I don't know. Not interested. And then my mentor said, Eric, if you'll do one of those a week and you build a team of 1,000 people who do one of those a week, you can make $5,000 a week, $10,000 a week. Would you be willing to do one meeting if ultimately it led to duplication that created $10,000 a week for you in income? I was like, well, yeah. I said, well, then it starts with you. Okay. Right? Before that, I couldn't be bothered. So the system for this is critically important. And if you feel like you don't have a system, come up with something that you know works. If you want to develop a system in sharing your products, come up with a system that you know from your experience works. And then promote that as a baseline. Every day we're going to sample this. Every day we're going to show this video. Every day we're going to ask people to try out our product for 30 days. Every day we're going to find one person somewhere, somehow, and we're going to do this thing. And until you can prove that there's a better way to do that thing, be militant about that thing. The organizations that struggle with duplication have too many options. Too many options. You could do this, you could do that. You could do this, you could do that. And the leaders that allow all of this flexibility, they think they're being nice and they're being mean. Because a confused mind does nothing. A confused mind, too many choices, they overwhelm, they blank out, they don't do anything. You know what people crave inside of network marketing? An assignment. Tell me what I need to do and tell me why. And then show me how. And then guide me through it, supervise me until I become competent. And then I got it. Okay? Tell, show, try, do through the process. That's what they're craving. They're waiting for an assignment from you. You know, people inside of network marketing get so frustrated because when they join, it's like, okay, I've just joined. What should I do? And then the person says, well, what do you want to do? What do you mean, what do I want to do? You're the person who knows how to make this thing work. Tell me what I need to do. I don't want to have to come up with my own system. I just joined you. You should have a system, right? Come up with your process of sharing products. Got it? All right, next. Share your opportunity daily. come up with a process and a system to make it happen. Now let's talk about that. What I try to do in sharing the opportunity, most of this really means an invitation of some sort. Let's say I'm sitting down, or I wake up, and the one that I liked the most of all the different processes I had and the different duplicatable systems I had to share the opportunity was I built a 2-a-day culture. Now, I'm not saying you have to do 2 a day. You could do 1 a day, and you'll be way ahead of most. If you can, whatever you can really build, sometimes 2 a day gets a higher percentage of actual productivity happening than 1 a day. Here's what I mean by that. Let's say you tell everybody, you got 100 people on your team, and you tell those 100 people to go do 1 a day. One opportunity sharing every day. And 30% of them do it. Okay? Which is a big number. You're never going to get 100. I mean, you're going to try to get some duplication, but you're never going to get 100. So you say 1 a day and you get 30%, or let's say you get 40%. We'll do 1 a day if you give them a simple system to do it. But if you promote 2 a day, you get 25%. So you're getting 50 exposures a day from the 2 a day people, and you're getting 40 exposures a day from the 1 a day people. So you got a higher percentage, but you got less exposures. It's a numbers game at the end of the day. You got to get the exposures to where they need to be. You understand the math that I'm talking about here? So sometimes the 2 might be a little bit bigger, sometimes it's 3. If it's simple. Now, I'm going to give you some examples of opportunity sharing systems that I've used in the past that really worked well for me. Some of them were technology-based, some of them were just presentation-based. But first big system that I was introduced to was a video cassette. The video cassette. This was back in the late 80s, early 90s. The company that I was with, when it came to sharing the opportunity, they came out with a video cassette that was super cool. It had a few celebrities on it, and it talked about the opportunity. It told the story about the company, it told the story about the product, it told the story about the opportunity. It had some testimonials on it. It was about 30 minutes long. And when you showed it to someone, the chances of somebody seeing a big picture was really good. So we used that like crazy. That's how I got connected with the opportunity, is taking a look at that video cassette. And what the simple system did for me, the system was this. Get in front of somebody, jump up and down and talk about how excited you were about this video cassette. And if possible, with them, put it into a VCR push play and be excited while they were watching. That was the system. Do that at least once a day. Okay? And then at the end, did you see an opportunity? You ready to get started? That was our system. Jump up and down, super enthusiastic. You got to see it. When can we get together? Push play, let them watch the video, be excited with them while they were doing it. And at the end, do you see an opportunity? Okay? That was our system. And that created, within the company and in my organization, more growth than I ever experienced. Was like, holy moly. And everybody knew what to do. Everybody on the team knew what to do. My question for you is, does everybody on the team know what to do? Do they all know what to do as far as which products you're recommending that is the core? Do they all know what to do as to the process for how you're sharing your product? Do they all of them know exactly what to do when it comes to sharing the opportunity? Our team knew that. A few years fast forward, this is 1992. I created an audio cassette for our team called A Career Choice. It was the name of our company, A Career Choice. And it was me doing an audio presentation. We had a little paper sleeve that the audio cassette went into. And on one side of the audio cassette was me walking through the company, product, opportunity, timing, support, call to action. It was about 20, 25 minutes long. We made it just long enough for the typical drive, so people put in their car and listen. On the other side was a quick start training if somebody wanted to learn what you would do, the basics of how people built a business. So here was our system. We came out with this audio cassette. I think we sold it at no markup, so I think it was like 40 cents for an audio cassette, something like that, maybe 35, 40 cents, but call it 40 cents. Here was our system. When a person joined our team, they got 100 audio cassettes, okay? Their assignment was to put those 100 audio cassettes with enthusiasm into the hands of 100 prospects in their first 7 days. And say, as quickly as possible, if I give you this audio cassette, will you listen to it? When will you listen to it for sure? So if I call you after that, you'll have listened to it for sure, right? Alrighty, what's the best time and place for me to call? Here's the audio cassette. I'm going to call you at that time. I got to go. Can't wait to hear what you think about this. Pop this into the car as quickly as you possibly can. Okay? This is when audio cassette players were in cars. So they got 100 in their first 7 days. And everybody's like, oh, okay, I could do that. They go to everybody. Listen to this, listen to this, listen to this. If I would you, if I would you, if I would you, if I would you. They got 100 of them out there. And then we told everybody, put out 2 of these every day. Every day, put 2 in your pocket, put 2 in your purse, put 2 in your briefcase, and do not go home unless those 2 have been passed to somebody else. And we taught them to put their contact information on the paper sleeve that held the audio cassette. So they put their name and their contact information on there. In 6 months, we moved 500,000 audio cassettes, just on our team. 500,000 audio cassettes in 6 months. I saw those things everywhere. There were stories of people joining our business that found them in the glove compartment of a car that they bought, that saw them in the pouch in the back seat of an airplane seat, who found it on top of the gas pump because somebody left it at the gas pump, from everywhere. People found that thing from everywhere. But here was the value of it. It was a system. And everybody just knew exactly what to do. You got 100 out in your first 7 days, and then 2 a day after that. That's what you do. Okay? So I'll give you another example of a system. Because really what we're trying to do is, on that audio cassette, I said, look, if you like what you hear so far, do your due diligence, get connected with the person who invited you to listen to it, get your questions answered, and take the next step. Okay? It was just an invitation, but in a longer form. So I miss the days when we had that tangible audio cassette, that we had that tangible video cassette. The technology has helped in some ways. It's made things faster, but it's not quite as actionable and physical as those audios and videos used to be. Fast forward a few years. One of the other share opportunity systems that I used was what I called a sizzle call. A sizzle call. Tammy says, did they buy the 100 you give them away? They bought the 100. The 100 of them cost $400 or whatever it was for that first week. I did a sizzle call. And here was the purpose for the sizzle call. I was engaged in a company, big launch, and I needed to get the story told as many times as possible. And I needed to create a system that a brand new person could engage in that would give them credibility and they would be willing to take action with. Okay? So I recorded onto a phone number, a local phone number, a little recording site. You can use freeconferencecall.com, I think. Freeconferencecall.com you can use for this if you want to. They'll give you a number that you can record a message into. And my message was, hi, my name is Eric Worre. The person who asked you to listen to this is an associate of mine. And I wanted you to hear from me the opportunity that we have. I asked my associate to think of the smartest, sharpest, brightest, most ambitious people they knew and to have them listen to this as quickly as possible. And if they have an interest, that to put those people on the phone with me as quickly as they can. So thank you for taking the time to listen. Let me tell you about the company, the product, the timing, the opportunity, and a call to action. It was about 7 minutes long, something like that. So here was my system. My system was, I went to everybody on the team and I said, I want you to have, for the next 7 days, to get 10 people a day to listen to that call. 10 people every day to listen to that call. If they have an interest, put them on a 3-way call with me. 10 people every day to listen to that call. They went, oh, I could do that. And I taught them how to. Here's the process. I want you to call them up. Do you have 7 minutes? Yes? All right, there's something I need you to listen to. Hold on 1 second. And 3-way that person into the call and stay on the phone with them. So you got to hear this. This is the coolest thing. And 7 minutes later, they're saying, listen, I told this guy about you. He wants to talk with you. Would you like to have a 3-way phone call with Eric? That was what I did. I taught the entire team to do that, 10 every day, and then connect me with people who want to take the next step. Because I was pushing people over the line, right? So eventually I taught other people how to create their sizzle calls and other people how to create their sizzle calls. But the process was get people to do that. In a launch phase, it was 10 a day. In a day-to-day phase, it was 2 a day. Every day, get up, don't finish the day unless 2 people have listened to that audio. Now you might do it with a link. Watch this video. It's a 3-minute video. It's a 2-minute video. It's a 5-minute video. Go to this website. But you have to have a process to invite to it, a process of whatever it is, and then a process to take them to the next step. Now, it might be inviting them for a one-on-one. It might be inviting them for a 3-way phone call. It might be inviting them for a home meeting. It might be inviting them for a Zoom call. It might be inviting them to get on Skype. It might be inviting them to something, that next step. But you need to determine what that is. If you have too many options, people do nothing. So the process is daily. Here's our system that we have inside of our team. Here's the process for the invitation to that system, the implementation of that system, and the follow-up of that system. And at least once a day. You can decide if it's better for you to do 2 a day, 3 a day, 5 a day. If you're in a launch phase, you're doing some big 90-day campaign. Maybe you tell everybody in your team, your existing people, to go do this 100 times and to post your results. Figure out whatever it is you're going to do that's going to get you the most exposures, because the focus here is the most exposures possible. If you ask everybody, you got to, let me show you the math again. Because again, what are we trying to do with this? We're trying to get the most number of prospects to see what it is that we have to offer, utilizing leverage on our teams. Does that make sense? Okay, so let me explain what that means. So let's say you have 100 people on the team. And if you ask those 100 people to do, let's say, 25 a day, what percentage of those 100 people will do it? What do you think? 1%? 0? 25 a day, 6 days a week, 5 days a week, let's say. Let's call this all 5 days a week. 25 a day, 5 days a week. What percentage will do this? Probably 0, right? Pretty close to 0. Well, what if you did 10 a day? If you have a strong reason, you got a great campaign, you might get them to do it for a period of time. Let's say you can get 5% of those 5 people out of your 100 to do 10 a day for a period of time. But they won't be able to hold it for very long. What if you did 5 a day? $5 a day? Let's say maybe, 10%? Does that work out to be about the same? Let's say you did 3 a day, or 2 a day, or 1 a day. And I'm going to show you how I got to 2 a day. Some people promote 3 a day because that gets them a better result. But if you did 1 a day, let's say you did 40 of those 100 will engage in one a day if you had a good solid system. And let's say you had 30 do 2 a day and you had 20 do 3 a day. Okay? So you're talking about results here in the form of exposures. 0. 10 a day times 5 people is what? 50? 5 a day times 10 people is 50. Is that right? 3 a day times 20 people is 60. 2 a day times 30 people is 60. 1 a day times 40 people is 40. So you got to figure out in here what's going to get you the most results. Now, the reason why I picked 2 a day, and you're going to see what works here. The reason why I picked 2 a day is I want more people into activity. If I did 1 a day, I got 40 people into activity. But if I got 30 people into activity, but they got bigger results and they got more exposures, that was worth it for me. Even though I almost got the same amount by getting a few people to do that, I lost 95 people out of this 100 of doing anything. And here's what you're going to get. If you set 2 a day, guess what you got to do in order to be able to get 2 a day to happen? What you have to do personally, you got to do like 5 in order to be able to get 2 to happen. And then you're going to get a bunch of people who do 1, who want to get 2, or maybe some people who do 2, and once they do that, they get 3, but you get more people in the game. So the goal here is to increase the number of exposures, to make it relatable, doable, solid, have the system in place in order to be able to make it happen. Okay? So if you don't have a system, you must develop a system. Whether it's a recorded message, whether it's a video, and I don't care if your company doesn't have one. You come up with one, make sure it's in compliance with your company, and you put it out for your team if that's what you need to do. But they must have, what do we do? Tell us what we do every day. And there's a difference between what you do in a launch and what you do on every day. But this is baseline. Product, sharing the opportunity, and a process and a system to do it. This needs to be sacred, needs to be non-negotiable, needs to be an assignment, and you need to encourage it and promote that behavior. MB says, okay, I'm getting brain fog. Will this be recorded? Of course it's recorded. Of course it's recorded. Here's what I just want you to understand. Relax, don't worry, but understand if you want to enjoy duplication and take this from a job to a profession to be able to have something for forever, you've got to have some simple systems that everybody follows. If you don't have these simple systems, you're going to struggle. Oh my gosh, this hour went by in a hurry. Do this, brain fog friend. Let's take 5 minutes. Just absorb this. Take a few notes. We'll take a little break and we'll come back for hour number 3 in order to be able to continue to talk about duplication within your business, okay? I know this might feel like it's a big stretch for you, but this is the holy grail of network marketing, all right? See you in 5 minutes at 2:05 Pacific time. Actually, 6 minutes from right now. Okay? Go.